All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to 5 things that US could learn from Germany. Let's jump in, guys.
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you did not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about things the USA could learn from Germany, and I'm pretty sure I've done a variation of this video before, but the points I'm talking about in today's version are things that I don't believe I've ever brought up on my channel because during the hurricane, y'all, Mike and I had a very long road trip and we had very long conversations about things we would change about the USA, things we would do different in the USA, and we use Germany a lot of times as a comparison tool, and I believe these are very tailored to what we've experienced in Florida due to the hurricane. And so with that being said, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and let me know down below in the comment section
You know
what
what's
you
crazy?
think
I
of
like her job. She does a very good job making the distinction between both countries. Very good job.
this video. So the first thing that the USA could learn from Germany is putting the power lines under the freaking ground. This was something that I believe a few people
Yo, she's right. She's completely right. There's some state, for some reason, they still have their power line over the ground. I don't understand why.
brought up
I mean,
like under or in the comment section of my Hurricane Milton update video. A lot of people were like, oh, you guys should put your power lines underground. Some people were saying that it's not possible. Some people were saying that flooding is an issue in Florida and that's an issue for underground power lines. But according to the Florida Power Light Company, which is our electricity provider, I know there are a few in the state, but I think this is the biggest. They have even come out and said that during hurricanes, underground power lines perform so much. I don't know how much it was. I think it was 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% even better than the freestanding over the
of
ground
course.
power lines.
Yo, freestanding of poles are so dangerous, guys. So dangerous. Like, one of those poles can literally just fly around and just hit a house. Like, some of these hurricanes that can just create winds over 150 miles per hour. It's so dangerous.
Or poles. I also personally think that it's very ugly to have overground power lines. I know that it is a big investment, it's a lot of money, and I do think it's a little bit more time consuming to find the issue and repair it. If I'm not mistaken, I was reading about this a couple of months ago and I was so shocked about the information that I encountered, but I'm pretty sure that was one thing that was brought up continuously, how much more intricate and time consuming it is to find where the power outage is. But nonetheless, yes, it floods, and yes, flooding is bad for them, but if the power company is even telling you that it's better to have underground power lines, I don't know why we're not investing in this. I believe 60+% of the USA, or maybe Florida, has overground power lines. So we are improving where we live. We have underground ones, and we are one of the first areas in our town to get power back, and we rarely lose power where we're at. But
and on top of that, Florida, Sunshine State. Not Sunshine State. Is it a Sunshine State? Well, there's a lot of sun there. Just go solar.
somewhere like, let's say my mom, where she has overground power, she loses her power in like a blink of an eye.
Yep.
Maybe it doesn't work everywhere in the USA, but I know in Florida it would be such an improvement because people going weeks without power after storms is really an inconvenience. So the next thing that the USA could learn from Germany is more consumer laws. And I've talked about this briefly in a few other videos about the rights afforded to consumers in, let's just say very broadly, the European Union, and more specifically Germany. People are protected from price gouging and crazy price increases that companies might try to implement. And it does happen sometimes in Germany, but not to the extent that we saw during a natural disaster in Florida. And it is illegal, technically. It's not allowed to happen here, but it still does. And the issue is that when she's
saying here, is she talking because she's in Florida, I guess, this time around?
A declared emergency state and you're trying to leave and go somewhere else, those same people or the other states that you're trying to evacuate to do not have the same rules and regulations that you do because they're not in a state of emergency. So they know that people are trying to leave and they use that. And for me, I just don't think
That's
that
very
it's
bad
fair.
character.
This is illegal in Germany. It's prosecuted. People get heavily fined. Businesses get heavily fined. They get in a lot of trouble. And here, yeah, people do get in trouble. You have to file a complaint with the Attorney General, which is something I did not know. I thought that the government would go after it themselves. But no, you have to file a complaint with the Attorney General. They have to investigate it. And then they have to decide if they're going to do something about it or not. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do anything because it's a lot of bureaucracy, it's a lot of paperwork, and it's probably a lot of headaches. You just see, especially times during natural disasters where price gouging takes place. And I think I said in one of the comments, you know, a 10% increase, a 20% increase, a 30%
That's nothing. I seen
increase, maybe even a
when Puerto Rico and Maria happened. So, I mean, the state just increased. They increased the case of bottle of water to almost it was 200-300%. It was crazy. So regular case of water would probably cost you like $3 or $4, right, back then, or even $2. After Maria, it was costing you even almost $40. It was crazy the amount of money they increased. It's an island. I understand inflation goes up because the resources are scarce. I understand, but at the same time, it's like, wow.
50% increase for, you know, supply and demand.
Yep.
But when you see things like a 300-400% increase, sometimes upwards of 1,000% increase,
It's insane.
that in my opinion should be heavily
Regulated.
prosecuted. And so the next thing that I wish the USA would learn from Germany is better road laws, or actually implementation, stricter implementation of road laws. And Mike and I noticed this, I think also on our road trip to New York, the semis that wreak havoc on the interstate. And it's not to say that semis are bad, because they're not, but the amount of damage that they can do in comparison to one little car is mind-boggling to me, that nothing is done to prevent them from the crazy driving that they do. We were seeing semis driving almost 100 miles per hour
Damn.
downhill, almost hitting people. We saw them driving in the left lane, 20 miles under the speed limit, and that is illegal on the interstate in Germany. I'm pretty sure that nowhere on the Autobahn or nowhere on the highway semis are allowed to drive in the left lane. That is for people going fast, unless they're passing and there's only 2 lanes, then maybe that's allowed. But if there's a 3-lane road, the semis are not supposed to be on the left. In the USA, there will be trucks driving in the left lane, and there will be signs that say no trucks in the left lane.
That's
and they
funny.
will just keep driving.
Wow.
And cops will be driving next to them. Cops will be sitting watching this happen. Cops will be driving behind them and doing nothing about it. Cops will see them speeding down the road. Cops will see them driving erratically, and nothing
That is so
freaking
wrong.
happens. Going away
Yeah, that's wrong. That is completely wrong. And that's something that she noticed that we do here. We need to do better. I'm glad that she noticed, but we need to
from
do
semis
better.
and just normal cars. I wish cops here would be a little bit more stricter
Here, so she's
with
in the
people
United States
and
now.
their driving. I think that if people are driving too close to one another, that should be, how do you say, watched out for a little bit more than hiding behind a bush.
I
and
have an
trying to
idea
catch
for
someone's
that. I have an idea for that. Build a sensor in one car where if you're getting too close to the car, that sensor should bleep, right? Like, start blinking, pam, 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 just letting the car know behind, like, hey, you're way too close. You have to back up. You're over 6 or 10 feet close to my car. You have to back up.
speeding.
And
Is speeding good?
if they don't do it, send the police.
No, it's very dangerous as well. But also, when you're driving so close to someone that the
dangerous.
person behind you cannot see who's in front of you, that is not okay. And this is just something that is so common here in the USA, and I find it to be so stupid. In Germany, you get in trouble if you drive too close to someone. You're not allowed to do it here either in the USA, but it still happens, and that's, I guess...
Let me see what she's saying. I know that people still tailgate in Germany, but I have seen more people getting pulled over or in trouble for tailgating in Germany in 8 years versus the rest of my life that I have lived in the United States. Good point. Good point, guys. She's probably noticed
the
that.
difference between both places. Not only do you have uneducated, ignorant people driving on the road, you have them driving sometimes vehicles that are very powerful and very dangerous
Yeah.
for themselves and everyone else on the roadways. So, yeah, wish that would change. The next thing that I wish the USA would learn from Germany has to deal with driving and roadways as well. And I feel this video is just tailored towards the car, but it's because we spent so much time in the car on a road. But I wish that the USA would learn how to repair potholes like Germany does. And I know some people might disagree because there are going to be people in the comment section that say Germany takes so long to fill a pothole, which is true. It takes 30 people in Germany 2 years to fill one pothole, but that pothole is filled to perfection. It takes one person 1 minute to fill a pothole in the USA, and your car might be in a new universe. It's like a roller coaster. You're on Six Flags amusement park, Universal Studios,
Yeah,
Hollywood Studios.
That's disgusting. Where I live, the streets are very nice and clean. There's no pothole, but in Puerto Rico used to have the same problem even a couple of years ago. Where now the roads are very nice and clean, very smooth. But back in the day, I remember they used to have cracks at this big, guys. Probably 3 feet deep, 3.5 feet deep. Like if your car get in that hole, that pop hole, your car will stay there. That's how bad it was. But thankfully, we're getting better in that regard. But she's right. The roads need to be better.
Disney World type of roller coaster on the interstates, on the highways, on the back alley roads here. Seriously, it's so funny to me because no matter where Mike and I drive, we are going to find the worst potholes in this country. And we were laughing because we said we can't avoid it. We'll be on the interstate, humongous pothole. We'll be on a side road, a humongous pothole. And they just don't get repaired, or they get repaired really shitty. And then I feel like it's worse. And Mike is like, yeah, die müssen was gegen das machen. I'm like, they're not going to. Or this is what they've done to fix it. This is the repaired pothole. And he's like, no, Haley, this can't be true. And he's like, yeah, but this is what taxpayers' money goes towards. I'm like, I say this all the time. I say this every freaking day. We pay for roads. We pay for this type of infrastructure.
Yeah, it might
and
be.
We get pissed poor.
Probably it might be where she live, or it all depends where you live in the United States. If you live in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, maybe you live in one of these places. I went to Florida, guys. Some of these areas are very nice. Probably the place that she live is not good, right? So it's not good.
Or management of it. In Germany, not to say that roads are perfect because you will find potholes, but it's just so much smoother in my opinion.
I have to say Milwaukee roads are bad. And Wisconsin, Milwaukee roads and downtown, they're horrendous. So I have to give that to her.
I don't know. I think it's because Germans drive at such a higher speed than in the USA that a pothole like we have on I-75, I-4, I-95, one of those could equate to life or death for someone if they're driving 200 miles per hour.
That is a good
faster, or it could equate to a lot of damage for a car. I want to know how many cars in the USA have received damage due to a pothole.
That's a good point.
Here. There should be like a civil lawsuit.
That's
against the state. Wish it would change, need it to change. The suspension in my poor little Mitsubishi is probably on its last leg. The last and final thing that I wish the USA would learn from Germany is going to be a little lighthearted and hopefully provide you with a little chuckle, but I wish that the USA would adopt some of the animal sounds that Germany has. And the reason I'm
Animal
including
sounds?
this was because my little brother was with us on the ride, and we started talking about animal sounds, Mike and I, and making animal sounds with my little brother. And I was like, make a horse, and we neighed. Or like, make a cow, and we mooed. And then I think I said, do a chicken or a rooster. And Mike, and I already knew that this existed, but he said kikariki. And I looked at him, my brother looked at him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that Germans say kikariki for a damn chicken
Yeah.
or rooster, whatever the heck bird it is. And I tell you, I had tears in my eyes, y'all. And I said, well, it's technically better
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
than cock-a-doodle-doo,
Yeah,
in my
cock-a-doodle-doo.
opinion, because we say cock-a-doodle-doo.
You know what? Kikiriki. That's what we do in Puerto Rico. Kikiriki. 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 Might be a European thing. Kikiriki. And in the mainland, we say cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo. But it doesn't sound like a chicken or a rooster, right? Right. I'm just saying.
For
I'm just saying.
birds. I mean, I don't know what other sounds we make, but I know that cock-a-doodle-doo is one of them, and I think kikariki is a little bit more accurate than
Kikiriki.
ours in the
Yeah, I
USA.
agree.
Even though I do have to say there are some in America that we do better than in Germany, but just this specific one really cracks me up. And if we did not talk about animal sounds with my brother during this
Very interesting video. I think there's a great point that she just put in the table that are legit. I think, especially some of the cities, I agree with her. We need to restructure our streets and potholes, right? Also, I do believe we have to increase the level of licenses, exams, for you to even get. We need to get better drivers and stricter driver licenses procedures. I think we're too lenient. Also, what was the other one that she said at the beginning? Let me see. The power line thing. I think there's two of them. We need the solar panels. More people will solar panels. More. And underground power lines. I think those are very good ideas. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like always, guys, I'll see you in the next one.